Morning, Rock Hill. Pastor Kyle here on Tuesday morning. Hope you had a great Labor Day weekend. It sure was fun seeing all of you guys at Malosky Stadium worshiping in the park. Just wanted to provide a little bit of a sermon recap for you this week in case you missed it and were out of town with your family. We looked at the book of Ecclesiastes this week, and how is it that we make meaning out of life? How do we discover meaning and purpose and something significant beyond ourselves? And so we looked at Ecclesiastes, a book of King Solomon that he wrote toward the end of his life after experiencing wisdom and tasting pleasure beyond compare, and being richer than anyone else and more accomplished than anyone else in most of history. And Solomon essentially said, if you're looking for meaning in all of these things, if you're looking for meaning under the sun, the conclusion that you come to is that all of life is meaningless. It's vanity. It's a striving after the wind. It's like trying to grasp or catch a puff of wind. You just can't do it. And so for 12 chapters, he looks and explores the pursuit of wisdom and knowledge, and find that in the end that's empty and meaningless. He thinks through and talks through his pursuit of pleasure and not withholding anything that his heart desired. But in the end, that too was meaningless to provide meaning and purpose in life. He speaks of achievement and accreditation or commendation beyond all of his forebears. He speaks of hard work and toil. He speaks of pursuing money and riches and wealth, and all of these things, his conclusion is meaningless. Until he gets to the punchline. They're meaningless so long as we're trying to find satisfaction and fulfillment of these things apart from God or under the sun. It's not until you look above the sun or you look to our Creator that these things are infused with meaning and purpose and value. And so a message primarily directed at the college students, but also many of us who are continuing to buy that lie that we can find meaning and fulfillment and fun just in the things that we buy or the stuff that we do, that we need to look beyond that because we were created for God. Solomon writes, God has set eternity in the hearts of mankind. And what that means is there is an insatiable craving or thirst in all of us that can only be quenched in God Himself, not in the things that He's created. We buy the lie over and over and over again that we can quench that thirst with created things. That's why there's this natural inclination for us to suppress the truth of God's existence, and yet all of those things are empty apart from God. And so we looked at that. And then we saw, how does God make it right? And it brought us to the gospel. Who Jesus is and what He accomplished. Bore the wrath of God in our place, achieved righteousness for us, achieved our victory so that by faith in His name we might be reconciled to God and have the identity and the affirmation and the purpose and the meaning that we so long for and crave in all of life. I encourage you to read through the book of Ecclesiastes sometime. It is remarkably refreshing and honest, and yet it points us to something beyond the sun, God Himself.